Welcome to MagicGatheringStrat. It's me, Brennan, your lovable host. Along with me, as always, are my two co-hosts for the evening, Sam, the Vault Boy Hunter. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, everybody.
And Dan, the Fan of History.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. All right. That's right. This is episode 68. The world is not your living room. Meaning, the world is so much bigger out there, and also, when you do go places, maybe not treat it like it's your living room. But anyway, let's start off with talking to Mr. Sam. How was your week, Sam? Anything going on?
Since we last talked, the Eldritch Moon pre-release has happened.
Yes. How did that go? How did that go for your shop?
We did a midnight one and we did a Sunday one. Midnight, we had 32 players. We started at midnight. That construction got done at 1:40 in the morning. And we did not finish until after 6:30.
Oh my gosh.
I was there from 9:30 that night until 6:30 the next morning.
Oh my goodness.
So that was pretty crazy. And then on Sunday we had 10. Basically, we just had the last of the pre-release kits that we sold on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that was done in like 2.5 hours. So a bunch of stoned and drunk Magic players in the middle of the night. It could have went better, but I learned some things that we're going to do differently next time.
Oh, that's cool.
And because basically I'm the TO for the shop at this point.
Right.
A couple things to talk about. First off, for the Pauper Cube.
Pauper Cube, yeah, huh?
I've decided I'm going to put the panoramas in.
Panoramas, why is that?
Because when you stop and think of like a powered cube,
Yeah.
they're running 20 lands because they're running the duels and the fetches.
Yeah.
And then 10 ways to search for them.
Okay.
And in the Pauper Cube as it's set up right now, there's 3 fetch lands and no way to search for any of the 20 lands that you're running for your non-basics.
That's true.
And it just gives a little more flexibility to draft a 2-color deck or a 3-color deck. And it's still a safe that you're not going to be able to go 5-color good stuff on a regular basis, which is why I think Stibbs took out the Signets.
Signets, yeah.
And the bounce lands, the Karus or whatever you would call them from Ravnica block.
Yes.
The panoramas are borderline playable, so I think it's a good inclusion.
Yeah, no, I like them. And the other thing to talk about that's just kind of a toss-off, did you see that they revealed Rise from the Tides? Did you see they revealed a new...
Yes. Yeah, it's create instead of put a token onto the battlefield.
It says create a token now.
Yeah.
So that's apparently going to jump out in Kaladesh. So... but Aaron Forsyth was like, well, we spoiled that a little earlier than we intended. But it looks really weird. Looks very, very strange to see wording like that because...
It has been put a token onto the battlefield forever.
Yeah, forever and ever. And we thought it was just placeholder language there. That they've added to the art on the card, like they hadn't formatted it yet, but like 3 hours later, people were just like reaming Forsyth over it, and he was like, yeah, we rebuilt it a little earlier than we intended. So I thought that was really odd.
Yeah, I wonder... It seems a little more simplistic. I kind of wish they had started off with this from the very beginning, but... Oh well. Well, that's interesting.
I'm back.
Okay.
It does still trigger enter the battlefield and all of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to talk about is just, I know we cater a lot to people who play mostly online, but it never hurts to have like a refresher on the shop etiquette. In particular, I've noticed Magic players love value. It's part of the game. It's part of how they live their life. Um, when you go into a store and they're offering price support, what they offer is what they have.
Right.
On the pre-releases, we kept hearing that shops often gave the people who won the pre-releases a whole box of the new products.
Whoa.
And to do that, what a shop would have to do is they would have to order a extra set of the pre-release kits to have a box to give to nobody else. So we had a lot of conflict on the midnight pre-release because the price support wasn't what our players thought it should be. But
Right.
you can't offer more than what Wizards sends you. And we don't have the type of budget that allows us. I mean, on those pre-release kits, the store makes like $4.50, almost $5. So it's not like we're raking in the dough or anything. Plus, we did decorations, we did food. When you have a cool shop, and not everybody has a cool shop, some people just have like a dirty place where they go and play Magic on Friday nights, ran by some jerk.
Right.
But when you have cool shops in your area and they're doing everything they can do, try to appreciate it. That's my point.
Right.
Because at the end of the night at 5:30 in the morning, when the third and the fourth place players were arguing with us over only getting 3 packs,
Yeah.
it felt like the rest of the night was kind of worthless. So, like, everybody else was completely fine with what they got. It just was really strange. So,
Wasn't this information they already knew?
yes, they knew. What we confused people because after round 3, we gave everybody left in the shop a pack.
Okay.
And we were like, here's a pack, everybody. This is because you all stayed till round 3. What we didn't do is we didn't go, this is part of price support. This is your participation pack. It is removed from price support. So we thought we let them think with not specifically saying that that was just an extra throw in instead of explicitly saying to them. So we gave them an inch and they wanted a mile basically. And it was only a few of them. But it's still like we ended up ending the night with like a bitter taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
So you gave them free stuff and they complained?
Yes.
All right. That's Magic players, right?
Yeah. I mean, but like if just me speaking out about this can get other Magic players that might do paper pre-releases because they get to do them 3 weeks earlier or something.
Right.
Kind of been the thought of, hey, especially if you're going to a good game shop, because it takes effort to make it into a good game shop instead of just another hole.
Yeah, let me kind of interject something there. I can tell you a couple of things. I've been to a lot of the game shops around my area. There are 2 big ones that do that. Like, they have a huge, 5-round pre-release, winner gets a full box, that kind of stuff. The people who are there, like the players and whatnot, are usually total dicks. I mean, like, they don't give you an inch. I mean, this is a freaking pre-release, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and we had this weird mix of casual players and, like, our sharks, because we do have some people that are really pretty decent Magic players, maybe not the best, but, like, they typically will win when they show up to do drafts and stuff. And it was weird having that balance, or trying to find a balance, because we typically, like, our casual players might show up for draft, and they always show up for Friday Night Magic.
Right.
But they didn't really care. They just wanted to play.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really strange. Like, normally the mix isn't really, they don't mix together very much, because mostly our Sharks play Modern. That's their format. They play on Monday and Thursday nights.
Sure.
But that week we did fire 7 Magic events, so that was pretty insane.
What level is your shop at now?
The level below the top level, or we're at the top level, but we have to fight to keep it that way.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
So I think we're a premier, is what it's called. Yeah. So like, we have to make sure that we fire the tournaments that Wizards wants us to, the size of tournaments they want us to, which we actually have done now for the year, for the rest of the year, so we don't have to worry about any of that.
Oh, that's sweet.
And apparently, 2 of the other matrices they use is making sure that events get reported, and they also look at how many new DCI numbers you're registering. So, which is fine because, again, our Friday Night Magics are typically new players coming in. And then on Wednesday nights, because we do $6 drafts, we get a lot of new players from the area too, because, half-price draft draws people in. So.
Oh, heck yeah. I'd go.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds fantastic. You have done some great work.
Yeah, no kidding. A really good job, man.
I wish we had a game store like that.
No, I like it. Like, our Monday and our Friday tournaments are free, and we do prize support for both. Our Thursday nights are $6 drafts, and we do prize support. And then our Thursday nights are $10 win-a-box night. And
Yeah, you have to drop the store name like every 10 minutes or so, so the
it's
store gets the credit.
It's Boom Comics in Lawrence, Kansas.
Boom Comics in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so, and we're in a town right now with we have 4 different gaming shops now. There was 1 that opened after us, and 2 that existed before us.
Yeah.
So, with Magic players, they have the shop they like to go to.
Oh, yeah.
It's their territory, their pissing corner, and they're very trepidatious about trying other shops. And typically, if we get people in, they come to a couple of events, they keep coming back to us.
Yeah.
It's always a fight to get people to try something new. Thankfully, in about a month, KU, the University of Kansas, gets back in session, and we're going to try to capture a lot of those new freshman players and stuff. So,
Oh, that'll be awesome.
yeah,
Because all those freshmen looking for a new place to play.
yeah, and they can come in, and then we can shower them with love and hairy guy hugs.
Sweet.
That's pretty much it. I haven't played. I played 3 games of Legacy Friday night.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I was on Counterbalance, and the other guy was on Lands, and Counterbalance can't win unless it goes top into Counterbalance on turn 2, basically,
Right.
against
Sounds like
Lands.
fun.
Huh?
Sounds like fun.
It was not fun, Dan. It was not fun. I played 3 games and I lost all 3.
Oh, no.
But that was just because one guy showed up and he had Legacy decks. I'm like, bring Pauper, but he brought Legacy instead. Like, okay, fine. But Moon Shadows looks like fun. We did 2 draft pods on Friday night, as well as the typical standard Friday Night Magic.
Right.
And it's a little bit faster. We only had 1 round go to time in the 2 pods, so that was nice.
Okay. That is cool.
Yep.
Much faster, I hope.
It's a little faster.
A little faster.
A little faster.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, I'm going to talk about 2 things. First up, I want to talk about this coffee shop I went to. And you're like, Brandon, why are you talking about coffee shop? Who cares?
They're great.
Let me explain. This place is called Nerdvana, or at Nerdvana, technically. That's actually how the name is.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that awesome? and it's in Frisco. It was such a cool place. Me and my wife went in there. Um, it's just a kind of a generic coffee shop, but the coffee. Okay, we have become coffee snobs in our old age, and when the coffee there is great. It's actually the whole setup is created by nerds, so everything is done, you know, in exact manners. If you can see in this picture, see this scale here, a digital scale to get perfect measurements. I had just a latte, and it might be the best latte I've had in this area. It was fantastic. It was so smooth. It was like silk coffee. It was awesome. The neat thing about this, not only is it just not only is it kind of run by nerds and things like that, it also they do events. Now, this is just grand opening. It just started, but floor to ceiling, I am not kidding, is full of board games. And then they have glass cases to display new board games. Like if there's a new board game that came out, I'm trying to think of it. Is like they had King of Tokyo, and King of Tokyo was it was in the case, but you could see how it was all laid out. And on one of them they had an expansion of Catan, and it was all laid out. So it's all these beautiful displays, and you can buy the games there if you want to play them there, because they have these enormous tables. You can kind of see it in the center picture. They have these big, butcher block wooden tables that you can play at. You can bring your own games. You can buy games there, and they also just have games open. A bunch of quick games like Sushi Go was out there, or Zombie Dice, and you can just play it while you're drinking your coffee. And it's actual coffee shop designed around people playing games while drinking coffee. It is awesome.
Sounds like paradise.
Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, and the other thing, one of the things they have are some baked goods, but their specialty is Texas toast. I don't know. Sam might know Texas toast. I don't know if Dan knows what Texas toast is.
I have no idea.
Texas toast. Okay. It is a super thick cut of bread. We're talking inch, maybe 2 inches thick, right? Then it is covered in butter and then toasted, I put quotes around that, by putting it in a pan. So instead of putting it in a toaster, you're basically pan frying bread. So they make these Texas toasts, but the cool thing is you can get like on one you can have like olive oil, mozzarella, and slices of tomato, right? On another one you can have essentially bananas Foster, which are bananas cooked in brown sugar with like a brandy sauce on it. So they have this two menus, one of savory, like actual sandwiches, and the other of sweet stuff, but all done on Texas toast. It was awesome.
Wow. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it was quite good.
That is a good hook, too.
Isn't it? I thought it was so cool. And one of the things that caught my eye was the fact that Nerdvana was where, do you remember that the show JPH Snake was on, Dan? The King of the Nerds? That was like their place that they stayed. They called it Nerdvana.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
and
yeah,
and that's what caught my attention. And I was like, oh, we gotta go there. So, me and the wife went. And it's very cool. It's in the lobby area of who is the... Oh, crap, I can't think of it. There's an actual game company in Frisco. And What is their name? I keep wanting to say Metal Gear, but it's not Metal Gear.
Kimani?
No. It's it actually has a gear in the logo, or like a cog in the logo. Poop. Can't think of it.
I'm trying to Google it.
Yeah. Dang it. Anyway, it's kind of cool. This place is in the lobby, and it's a game company.
Gearbox.
Dun
Wow.
dun dun.
Gearbox South then.
Yeah, Gearbox. That's the one. So yeah, in their lobby, that's where this place is, and it's super cool. It's actually very large too, which is convenient, because you can have they have like 6-seater tables and a lot of 4-seaters, and plenty of room to play a game.
Any magic?
I didn't see any there, but I don't see how you couldn't. You know what I mean? It's like perfect for a casual game if you had people come in, bring their decks, or heck, bring in packs, do your own draft there.
I mean, they're going to get spirits, so they're going to attract commander players.
Oh yeah, that's coming soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, speaking of Nerdvana, I recently was talking to Mr. JPH Snake himself, Jack, who was almost your king of the nerds. He's made a couple of decks, but I don't talk about this one. Tinder Rally. This is a pauper deck. Why is it called Tinder Rally? It's not that you're swiping right while you're using the Tinder app. No. It is because of... Oops. Mouse got too far. Ran out of Bluetooth. Okay. Tinder Farm. Tinder Farm comes into play tapped. Tap to add green mana to your mana pool. Easy enough. Also, it's one of the Odyssey cycle. Tap and sacrifice Tinder Farm. Add red and white to your mana pool. This is a very unique land cycle. These sack lands. And it uses this to try to pump out mana quickly. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get out lots of small creatures. Here's Chatter of Squirrels, Elvish Visionary, Nest Invader, Satyr Wayfinder, Sylvan Ranger. These will also help fill your hand. And I'll get to that in just a second, because not only do you put out a bunch of things, but Elvish Visionary draws you a card, Nest Invader gives you 2 creatures, Satyr Wayfinder lets you get a card and put it into your hand, as does Sylvan Ranger. Rally the Peasants. This is one of your new go-to spells. So you're attacking with everything, and hopefully being able to not only just rally the peasants, but flash it back and rally them twice. And your cards 5 through 8, good old Rites of Initiation. The creatures in this are designed to keep your hand full, or as full as it can for right now. And Rites lets you use those extra cards to do the same thing that Rally the Peasants does. There's also Scatter the Seeds to put more tokens out there, because you're already going to have creatures out most likely. So you can use the Convoke at the end of their turn and then push in big time. And that's where you can see where Tinder Farm really shines, because you get both the white and the red mana, and that allows you to do some pretty crazy things. This version has abundant growth, but he said that he didn't like this version. What he did like was the version that I bought in paper. I'll bring it up here. It's not in the same tapped out, but I'll show you anyway. This one also included a Borderland Ranger and a Civic Wayfinder. So you had...
That's weird.
Yeah, it was just another... It just had creatures again to put something into your hand. But also, this had a Thrill of the Hunt and lots of travel preps. So this travel prep again is something because you're trying to put 1/1s or the counters on all your creatures that you have out there. He said that this version was actually more consistent than this version. The other thing he had what he called Part 2, which uses Squadron Hawk and Core Skyfisher. He said this version was way more explosive. Like he said, when this version goes off, he said it would just go nuts. But he said the problem is it's not nearly as consistent as the original version. Now, what he is also working on is Part 3. And you're like, well, what's Part 3? Part 3, what's this crazy thing doing in here? That's right. He had it, check it out, Crumbling Vestige, first of all. He said the only way this is good, he said it's great when it first comes out, but it only really shines if you have abundant growths. Just keep that in mind. Now, what he has here, he has Holdout Settlement. If everybody remembers this, Oath of the Gatewatch.
It's Springleaf Drum on a land.
Yeah, Springleaf Land. And so he said that he's still working on it. He said the mana for this one sucks. But he thinks might be something there. So, especially with Brainstorm. But anyway, that's where he's going with it. I'm sticking with the original. I saw it. I ran it through some of my own gold fishing, and I love it. And it fits, as you can see with my other paper pauper decks, it kind of fits this one-off category. Because I have so few that are normal. Like I have Rugtron and Elves and White Weenie. But then, Turbo Exhume, Slivers, Tortured Toolbox. And to me it fit perfectly with my normal mode of buying pauper decks.
So basically, at the end of the day, it's 2-color watch rights.
Yes.
Dropping the Keep Watch for other incidental cards that fill up your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why on the deck that he splashed into blue.
Yeah, he said this is more of an experiment.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is a 3-color aggro deck, which I can't remember if it was.
Yeah, he said the mana base sucks.
I mean, it looks interesting. I'm sure it does win because most of Jack's decks win.
Right.
What he's known for. I don't know. I liked Watch Rights. I'm happy with the way Watch Rights ran. That's
cool. Yep. I just thought this was very neat. Next time I might talk about his other one, which is an advancement upon another deck that we all know and love.
Love Train. No.
Love Train. That'd be pretty cool.
Train.
It's not Love Train.
It's not Love Train.
He has so many decks.
Yeah. He's prolific. Yo.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Dan, how have you been? You've been on a hiatus.
Yeah, I have. So a lot of stuff has happened. So where to start? First, I want to mention Color Commentary, the new Pauper podcast.
That's right. We're hosting them.
Yes, they are two guys discussing Pauper. They're playing locally at the game store, so they have a paper version of Pauper, which is not the Magic Online version. So Sinkhole is legal, for example. Mm-hmm. But then they also discuss Magic Online Pauper and at a fairly high level. So they break down decks and stuff. It's just what Pauper has been missing, I think. So that's why I wanted it on MagicGatheringStrat. So check that out. They had a sound problem with episode 12, but check out episode 11, which is also on our YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, they're good folks. You'll like them.
I've also been to Berlin and checked out some ancient history stuff that I'm into. And
what'd you see in Berlin? Where'd you go?
The most amazing thing was this was the Pergamon Museum. Mm-hmm. Back in 1899, a German archaeologist dug around the ancient city of Babylon, and they discovered the remains of the Ishtar Gate, the main city gate to Babylon.
Right.
They dug this up and reconstructed the gate in natural size inside the museum in Berlin. There's a 20-meter high gate to Babylon.
Didn't you put a picture of that on Facebook?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I saw that.
Extremely impressive. And then they painted it in the original colors. So it was quite a sight. Also speaking about ancient history, I am cast for a role in the YouTube series Bronze that takes place in 1350 BC. This is a clay animation series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's all in original language. So there are like language nerds involved.
Whoa.
So I have to speak my roles in ancient Canaan language things and ancient Egyptian.
Oh my goodness.
So it's really hard. I'm gonna do that today. So I'm gonna play I got two roles. I'm playing the Pharaoh's messenger, and I'm playing one of the kings of Canaan.
Wow.
So 1350 BC, before the Bronze Age collapse, and you can hear me speak ancient Canaanite languages with a Swedish accent.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
They must have heard
as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I did take on Pauper Burn. I figured that Pauper has. I've been playing a lot of modern Burn, and I figured that Pauper Burn has better burn spells, but worse creatures. We don't have Swift Spears and Goblin Guides and stuff, but we do get Chain Lightnings and Fire Blasts. So why do we insist on playing creatures in Pauper Burn? So I just went with more burn spells.
Right.
And I've done a series of 4 videos on that on our YouTube channel. And it went a little too well, I think. In the final match, somebody chain lightning me while I still had 2 red mana and he had 2 life.
Oh no.
He just didn't know how the card worked.
Yeah. So that was like a free win. But yeah, I'm still pestering Sam about Standard Pauper, so we can get some Standard Pauper videos up.
Well, this week.
Yeah, or next week for the listeners.
Yeah.
What else? I've been biking a lot. Great summer here in Sweden. Been a lot outside, burned myself. Yeah, that's about it.
Have you, did you say you've been playing any more of your turf game?
Yeah, I have. Turf game is a GPS game, been around since 2010. I've been playing it a lot and doing a lot of biking. And it turns out that when you do a lot of biking, moving around over vast areas, because in turf game you pretty much have to check in at places and then hope that no one else checks in at the same place, or that they do. But there's a lot of strategy in the game actually. But while you're doing this, turns out it's super easy to catch Pokemons at the same time. So yeah, that's been quite some fun.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I've played
it's
that
scary
myself.
for the kids when they are standing around the Pokestops, and there I turn up in all my biking gear, and I'm like, hitting the Pokemons and leaving.
In America, people keep finding dead bodies because of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I've heard all about it.
So that's pretty good. The first week it was out, people kept running in and out of the shop.
Oh, do you have a stop there?
No, there's not a stop there. It's just it's like right in the middle of town, and the more populous areas get more Pokemon spawning.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, but in the weeks since, it's kind of calmed down. no DRM.
Yeah, I think people misunderstood it the first week because you don't actually have. If you see a Pokemon on the map, you just have to click on it. You don't have to follow it.
Right.
So you can never end up in a situation where you have to pursue a Pokemon.
Yep. Once you see it, but you can touch it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to go inside and stuff. You just have to reach the Pokestops and the gyms.
I told Dan that I'm in the middle of a Pokemon wasteland.
Hey man, so am I in the north.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm surrounded.
You're surrounded.
Surrounded by Pokemon.
Yeah, in my Stockholm apartment.
Yeah.
As you know, I live in 2 places. In my Stockholm apartment, in the middle of a million plus inhabitant city, I can reach 3 Pokestops from my bed.
That is great. That is you lucky SOB.
Yeah, so I just pop the lucky egg, put the lures up, and enjoy it from the bed.
Just do anything. I can leave my phone on all day and not one Pokemon will spawn.
Yeah, I think it's there is some something you have to move it for them to spawn.
Yeah, but I'm working.
Unless you happen to be in the middle of Stockholm and there is a bar nearby where people pull up lures as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We're doing on the 24th.
Yeah.
A new Pokemon set comes out for the card game.
Really?
And we're gonna do a Poke Pub crawl.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a card game.
Just kidding.
No, in our area, it's 3rd or 4th after Magic, because Force of Will gets a bigger player base, but it's pretty much tied with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pub crawl is a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, everybody that's going to go, I'm sure, is going to enjoy it. I will not be attending because I don't drink on Wednesday nights and I don't play Pokemon Go.
Oh.
No, thank you. See you.
But if you're listening to this and you are in California or particularly San Francisco, or you're in the Nordics, or you're in Holland, South Korea, or England, you can combine your Pokemon Go with turfgame.com and it works awesome. You never have to worry about your eggs anymore because they will be hatching.
No kidding. I can't imagine.
Just remember the 15 miles per hour speed limit.
Is Turf Game very popular in South Korea?
No, not at all. So you have an excellent position because they made an effort to. So they put a lot of zones in Seoul, in the capital of South Korea, but nobody's playing, so they are all yours.
They're all yours, South Koreans. Rise up and seize the zones.
Yeah.
It's sort of. There is a very common that the turf game zones that you have to reach and the Pokestops or the gyms are in the exact same location.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that at all.
They're based around tourist stuff.
And Bill's and Brennan, I think, had the idea that the developer bought an old geocaching app.
But yeah, it turns out that Niantic actually made their own geocache app. It's very similar to Turf Game, Dan, except it's more like, I don't know, Call of Duty. But you have to go take zones, and you have to leave stuff, and you have to get portals to other places, and all the portals are now the gyms, and all the stop, and all the all the cache spots are Pokestops. Because when I was looking at it, I was like, this is exactly what it is. They had to have done that. Turns out they did.
Like in my area, all of the stops are churches, and all of the gyms are grocery stores.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's just how it works.
We have one gym that is in the middle of a 6-lane road. There's a lighthouse in the middle of the road that's like I don't know.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and that's where the gym is.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, so what they do in Turf Game that is a lot better is that they place the zones based on like things you should see, like statues and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they move them based on user feedback, and the users also get to make requests. So after a while, the zones spread out evenly over the whole area, not only in the most populated places.
Oh,
Here
that's
in the
cool.
north, then, in a small town of 12,000 people, all the Pokestops are in the middle of town, but the turf game zones are spread out all over town.
Oh, yeah. You can actually, Niantic has a place on their website where you can request stops.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Yep.
great.
It's pretty new. I think they rolled that feature out like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay, very
my wife
interesting.
was telling me about it. Yep. They're mainly interested in, like, they want retail places to do it, and
Okay.
also like art.
Yeah.
They wanna be at art stops.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have some local art they missed here, so
Danny's been requesting. She's our new Pokemon professor, so she's been requesting the shop to become a stop for a while now.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was fun to see GPS games explode like this because I've been playing it for 2 years. So I've tested everyone there is, I think.
Nice.
At least
this-
that has coverage here. And I see very clearly how Pokemon Go is based on Ingress.
Oh, yeah.
But Ingress was horrible.
That's funny. But yeah, Pokemon Go is better.
Yeah, definitely. It seems very unbalanced, though. It seems to be a huge edge to be in the middle of a city.
Oh, without a doubt. My daughter, she is spending time at the University of Texas at Arlington this summer for orchestra.
Yeah.
And while she was there were Pokestops almost every corner that you would go to in the university. Every silly statue, every building that had a name, and it's university. Every building has a name. Somewhere there was Pokestops.
In this northern town, we have a town museum, a pretty small thing, but it has 3 Pokestops and a small park outside. And every time you go by, there's like 10 to 20 people hanging around in the park.
Yeah.
There are constant lures, like a party that's going on
That's
constantly.
funny.
Yeah, we went to eat downtown, and we get out of the car. I get my son out of the seat, and my wife, without saying anything, wandered out towards the library, right at the library, and she walked over to where a Pokemon.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Sam.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
God, my Wi-Fi must be crazy because I keep losing you guys, but
No.
we're pretty close to the end. But it's bringing people together
It is.
to catch
Definitely.
magic creatures.
It's a lot better to do in pairs than turf game, I'll tell you that.
Because everybody,
Another fun detail, in turf game, you see all the other players. You have to be visible to take a zone. You can be invisible, but when you're taking zones, you have to show up on the map.
Okay.
So now, usually when I'm taking zones in turf game, people are like in Stockholm. People are avoiding me because they know I will block the zones, and I bike pretty fast and I'm fairly high level. So, but now they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" So they see me moving on the map like in circles and not going to the zones. Because I have to hit the Pokestops. But they still haven't figured it out, so...
All right. Well, cool, man. All right. Well, I think that's going to close us out for today.
I want to say one more thing about
Go for it.
GPS games
Yeah.
and augmented reality in general. I think we've only seen the beginning of GPS gaming, and just making the whole world a playfield. This will bring nerds outside.
Yes, it already has. It's
Yeah.
impressive.
Amazing. Okay. I'm
Okay.
done.
Nope. Cool. All right. Well, MagicGatheringStrat.com is the website. YouTube/MagicGatheringStrat. If you enjoy our content, Patreon.com/MagicGatheringStrat. Twitter is at MagicGathStrat for all of our informations. Follow me at Cerulean Says Hi. Follow Sam at SPO7677. You follow Dan at Dan Horning. And Facebook.com/MagicGatheringStrat. Please like and subscribe and tell all your friends about it. It's awesome. So, for this week, I am Brennan.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Dan.
And this has been the Magic Gathering Strat Show.
Magic Gathering Strat
Show.